familiar promise of relief, but also a familiar trail of tragedy. First, we were told that rainfall would be inadequate, and days later, Mumbai witnessed 72 hours of relentless rain, exposing once again the gap between the forecast and the ground preparedness. But while weather predictions can improve, one question remains impossible to ignore. Why are people still dying due to rain-related deaths and infrastructural gaps in India's biggest metropolitan cities? From trees crashing onto roads and pedestrians falling into uncovered pits to wall collapses and waterlogged streets turning into death traps, these are not just rain-related deaths. These are preventable tragedies caused by negligence and apathy. As Mumbai battles another spell of intense monsoon fury, the focus must shift from reacting after disasters to preventing them before lives are lost. The big question remains, why do we keep seeing the same preventable deaths year after year in some of our biggest cities? Let's open up this conversation. Joining me on the telecast are my panelists. I'm going to start this conversation with Rajalakshmi Joshi. Rajalakshmi, you live in Mumbai. There are floods and deluges almost every year. Last year, we witnessed a similar situation, 2019, 2015. Record amount of rainfall has wreaked havoc time and again in Maharashtra, in Mumbai particularly, in Pune and neighboring regions, neighboring districts in Maharashtra. Now, I would like to, make a comparison to the number of times there are typhoons and hurricanes that have hit, North America. There are, wildfires in France. There are heat wave in France and in Italy and in Spain that has led to the deaths of dozens of people. Now, are these to be termed as natural calamities, and there is nothing much can be done by the government agencies, by the authorities, with the preparedness with which we can be more secure, proactively create infrastructure, create facilities, have teams on standby to ensure such deaths and destruction does not take place? Are we at this point of time at the mercy of the nature that obviously has us scrambling for our lives and this complete mayhem that has been created in Maharashtra once again?
Good evening, Megha, and thank you for having me on your show. And yes, this is, I think that this is becoming more and more of a global phenomenon. Very frankly, yes, me being a Mumbaikar, I have seen this happening all my life. So it is nothing new, very frankly. But even then, I would say that all over the world, I have seen that not just what you were talking about, extreme changes in weather, but apart from that, I have seen some kind of an extreme precipitation also all over the world. So that is the kind of a scene that I have witnessed in whether it may be New York or other cities in North America, or also in places like Dubai. You have seen that there have been extreme cases of flooding and people losing lives. In fact, in North America, since you mentioned it, it has been a case where almost every year more than 100 people die due to flooding itself. And other than that, yes, all those forest fires and all of that, that has been happening more frequently than before. So there is definitely something wrong with the way in which there has been this global warming, changes in climate. All of that has been happening, and to add to all of that, this year there has been the El Nino effect also. So all of that actually led to this kind of an uncertainty of whether there will be enough rains or not. And that is something that is not just affecting our country,
Okay.
but there are some other countries also.
Yeah.
Now there are certain things in Mumbai that are definitely avoidable, and the government is definitely working towards it. But I think that what is happening is, even though those factors are being added, like there are certain ways in which, now today I'm talking as an architect, Megha, as an architect and somebody who is definitely concerned about the environment. So I speak as an architect. I can see a lot of measures being taken, but I still feel that all these measures are not enough, not just in Mumbai, but all over the country. I think that a lot of things still would no, there is definitely a lot more room for improvement
Okay,
in
all
terms
right,
of
fair enough. You
downline.
made your point. I'm going to quickly bring in Sushil Dwivedi as well. Sushil, uh, it's not a new phenomenon when regions face deluge and flooding. Mumbai is prone to it, Maharashtra is prone to it. As I was mentioning to Raja Lakshmi Joshi, typhoons and hurricanes are not a new phenomenon. In North America especially, they have been happening for decades and centuries together, where people have lost lives, there has been destruction of property. Uh, in wake of also the weather vagaries and the climate change that is bringing in extreme weather conditions to different parts of the world, what kind of management and preparedness can our authorities and the people in general can do to ensure there is minimum damage to life and property?
Thank you, Megha. And thanks for inviting me. Yes, I am totally convinced with the Lakshmi ji. Every year, Mumbai flood makes the Mumbai as a water park, and as in the past 24 hours, nearly 300 of the rain has been taken place in India's financial capital become a water park. So it is a grave concern as we people are living in the world of the climate change. Nowadays, the signals that we people are decoding from the our surrounding climate, so these are now reflecting in various way, and one of the way is the excessive rainfall, as well as you have also heard about in the other part of the country due to the super El Nino effect. There is the less monsoon rain is taking place in the northern part of the India. Every year Mumbai experience excessive rainfall. It is primarily due to the southwest monsoon that is hitting the Western Ghat, strong moisture laden uh, westerly winds from the Arabian Sea, and low pressure system that we people are evidencing that from over the Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea. So every year these weather conditions combine. But since we people are living in the era of the climate change, so now the things it cannot be predicted in a uh, in a faster way. Like as the geographic location of the Mumbai is concerned, so Mumbai is a coastal city. It is located on the windward side of the Western Ghat, and there are the mountain force moisture laden heavy winds upward, causing them to condense and dump massive amount of the water. As well as there is another factor is that tidal constraints. But the most important factor is the urbanization and concrete, and that every single individual who is living on the earth is accounting for it. There
Okay,
is the rapid urbanization and land reclamation and the filling of the natural wetland. You have heard about the mangroves were destroyed, as well as natural wetlands and other ponds have been striped the city of the natural sponge. And there is the drainage overload is also in the city's historic and the current drainage system, because okay, there is the heavy rainfall is the every year story of the Mumbai, but there should be the proper drainage system
okay,
and
all
the
right, sir.
city.
Fair enough. You've made your point. You've made your point. Let me also include other panelists into the conversation. I have with me Dr.
Yeah.
S.N. Pandey. Dr. Pandey, the situation at this point of time devastating. We saw that the Mumbai-Pune expressway, crores, thousands of crores have been spent to build this expressway. Uh, it was a game changer. The time that the commute took between Pune and Mumbai before the advent, before the construction of the expressway was humongous. It just shortened the time to 3 hours. Now there are people who travel from Pune to Mumbai and Mumbai to Pune every single day because they go for work, they go
Yes,
for
ma'am.
businesses. So, in a situation such as this, Are we just going to wash our hands of it? Are we just going to blame the authorities, blame the highways authorities for not having done a good job of constructing the highways, or do you think there is a limit to which these man-made constructions are going to be able to resist the fury of the nature?
Yes, in this southwest monsoon, India lost an overall 40% nationwide rainfall deficit, but making as in fifth dearest start since 1901. We are all humans for this situation. We are not in my next generation in culture for climate change. We are not going colleges, universities, or schools where children's not knowing what climate change, why my earth is heat up. So first we are going for next generation to Earth Bachao Andolan. If we are going for this next generation, so we are.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to come back to you. I have with me Advocate Godfrey Pimenta. Advocate Pimenta, again the same premise. Can we be better prepared to face these calamities, or are these eventualities that we will have to live with? Can we at least, if not prevent, then reduce the cost of devastation that we as residents have to face every single time there is flooding and monsoon in Maharashtra?
Thanks for inviting me on this panel. I have been, corresponding with the authorities for last several years on this issue of flooding. If you recall, in 2005 July, there was a flooding in Mumbai, and the government of India, Maharashtra, had appointed Madhav Chitle committee. Now, this committee had given a lot of recommendation, almost 20 odd recommendations to the corporation as well as the state government. One of the thing was, the buffer zone around the four rivers in Mumbai. There is hardly any, though the buffer zone has been implemented, but there is no enough space for movement of this water in the buffer zone. As a result, the Mumbai, like certain areas in Mumbai, are below mean sea level, and therefore you experience flooding. One of the prime cause of this flooding is the civic apathy among the citizens. We are seeing garbage thrown anywhere and everywhere. There is no civic sense in majority of the residents of Mumbai, and that comes from all strata of the society. And you'll see today, if you see at the Juhu beach or any other beach, a lot of plastic is thrown out. This plastic gets what you call accumulated, and it affects the flow of the stormwater drain. Now, these stormwater drains were designed maybe years ago. They are carrying capacities about say 25 to 30 mm per hour, whereas we are experiencing intense rainfall in the range of 2 to 300 mm. Now, this stormwater drains are not accustomed to handle this kind of situation. There were a lot of lakes in Mumbai. I have made a study. Number of lakes have been reclaimed. So this was like a holding pond for the excess rainfall. Now this have disappeared altogether in the development of and there is a development happening. Every inch of the open space has been taken by the builder lobby. Another prime reason is the concretization of the entire city. There is no percolation happening. Good old days, I remember as a child, maybe 50 years ago, there was lot of open space. Same amount of intensity of rainfall was there, but we had not experience the kind of flooding which is happening today. So there are a number of factors. Not only the prime reason is the civic apathy among the citizens. We always blame the corporation that they are not doing. Yes, they are not doing to a certain
Fair
extent.
enough,
This year,
but I'll go back to 2005, the worst deluge in Mumbai's history. It killed over 500 people. The complete city came to a standstill. Now, compared to the situation when we talk about it in Mumbai and Maharashtra in total in 2026, obviously there is more construction, obviously there is more concretization, but we see the situation. I mean, are you saying that 2005 was one exception to the rule that led to this massive mayhem, cost to
well,
life,
that was an
cost to
exception.
property?
Almost 1,000 mm rainfall we experienced. That was a cloudburst over Mumbai. But thereafter, the government appointed expert committee like Dr. Madhav Chitle committee. They have given 20 odd recommendations. I don't think so. And 50% of those recommendations have been, implemented. The government is like, they always apply band-aid instead of carrying out surgical operation. What is needed is a surgical operation. When you appoint expert, please implement those recommendation given by the experts in the field, which is not happening.
Okay, Rajalakshmi, coming to you and talking about if prevention is the only solution by way of being prepared, by way of ensuring that our authorities are providing the infrastructure that is required to ensure that these deluges, these flooding and monsoons do not wreak havoc in the lives of people. Are you saying that more can be done? Are you saying that at this point of time there are efforts being made and things can improve? Are people themselves responsible also in ensuring that when such calamities happen, when monsoon hits, there are certain precautions that need to be taken?
Yes, definitely, Megha. It's a combination of all these factors, and all my co-panelists have, brought out all the points very beautifully. So, this 2005 deluge was definitely an exception, but that has definitely made a kind of a benchmark about what kind of precautions need to be taken. God forbid such a situation ever arises. And after that, a lot of measures were definitely taken. Like now, you have some underground holding tanks and some rainwater harvesting kind of systems, especially in places which have the which have the places submerged almost all the time. Because like I was telling you earlier, I actually attribute it largely to definitely faulty town planning. So, like I told you earlier, I'm an architect, so I can see that definitely it is the kind of planning that has happened. In fact, it has been haphazard or maybe an organic growth where it was an unplanned growth. So, what is happening is like, one co-panelist was talking about how the stormwater drains are maybe years old. I would say it's a centuries old because it was definitely something that was done during the time of the British. And in fact, some of the stormwater drains are still the ones that were of that time. So you can imagine that in a way changing the entire system is definitely going to take time. But at the same time, what is happening is in spite of all the additional measures being taken, also the concretization that actually prevents the surface water from going inside the inside
But
the
do you
ground
see
like
any
it used to
solution
happen
to
earlier.
it? I mean, when our cities are expanding to the stretches, I mean, concretization and building new infrastructure is a necessary evil. How are we going to be able to sustain a population that is ever growing, that is bursting from the seams? There are new airports that are coming up. at Mumbai stretching from Navi Mumbai to it's almost as if it's merging with Pune very, very fast. I mean, what's a feasible solution to this? We cannot really be coming about and making ideological sweeping statements that there should not be construction
Absolutely.
happening.
Yes,
Why are we
absolutely.
going to put our people? How are we going to ensure that the livelihoods are provided for? So is there a constructive way that this problem can be looked at? And again, I once again put out this example that despite all efforts that are made by governments, by authorities all over the world, disasters happen, lives are lost, properties are destroyed.
Yes, definitely, Megha. Like I was telling you earlier, now what can be done is the surfaces. In some other countries also, they have actually researched and found that you can use certain tiles which will actually absorb the surface water, so that the water seeps inside the ground, and instead of actually just accumulating on the surface and maybe creating a situation of flooding. So those kind of things can be researched and maybe developed. And at the same time, a lot of AI, that is artificial intelligence systems, are being explored along with the help of certain institutions like the IIT, to maybe explore and to investigate and see where the stormwater drains, etc., are being flooded or clogged, to make sure that there is no clogging. Like Mr. Pimenta was talking about the clogging and the civic apathy. Yes, all these kind of factors definitely make sure they actually add to this fact that the stormwater drains are clogged, and to add
Okay.
to it, when you have the high level in the seas. So at that time, high tide in the seas. So it's a complete tragedy. So heavy rains to add to it, high tide and the clogged drains. You can imagine what will happen. So there is no way for the water to go, and the water logging is something that is never going down.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I
So
think
yeah,
it's
those are, yeah, fair enough. You pointed out those very pertinent issues, very peculiar to Mumbai. But I would have to say, in Delhi as well as a city, we do not witness, rains and monsoon as hard as in the western part of the country, in Maharashtra and other regions. But there were, just last year, there was an unseasonal rain for just a few hours, and there were lives that were lost. There were homes that were just drowned, just washed away in that rain. And of course the problem was about the drainage system in the city. It was not equipped, unlike as compared to Mumbai, as compared to Pune. The drainage system in Delhi, in Gurgaon, in Noida is not as equipped as it would be in the other cities, other states, because we would not, as a tradition, get that amount of rainfall. So those are all issues that will have to be dealt with, urgently, to ensure that the damage, there is going to be damage. You cannot do anything when the rain gods wreak havoc. But can you reduce the damage? Can you reduce the deaths? Can you reduce the damage to property and the complete standstill at which Mumbai and other neighboring regions, districts find themselves in? I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast, but there is